Hello, everybody. Get ready because we're about to take it to the mic stand. Um, so first, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm gonna take a few minutes to let people kind of settle in here. It looks like we have two or three people in thus far, so I want to see if we can get at least a couple more. Hey, Pickle. Hello. Um, as I said, I'm just gonna before I get started, I'm gonna just wait to see who else ends up showing up. Um, give them a few more minutes here. Three people in here, so that's good. That's a good start to the show, and had at least one of you in here even before that. So that's good. Um, hopefully we can. Let's see. I'm doing well. I will have to leave in a few minutes for an appointment tomorrow morning. Oh, what you got to get to bed? Is what you got to get to bed early or something like that? Well, that kind of sucks for you though because you're gonna miss. I got like four stories tonight. Uh, I got four stories tonight. Yeah. Well, that kind of sucks. But I got four stories tonight. Plus, this day needs history. But I'm glad you're here. Glad you at least were coming in for a few minutes here. Um, I can catch up tomorrow. Yeah. Well, as you know, I leave my streams up, so you probably have to. Yeah. So got three people in here thus far. So, like I said, we're just gonna wait a few minutes to see who else may show up here. So when you say you have an appointment there, Pickle, is it a doctor's appointment or is it like work related, like you have an interview or something like that, or is it something you'd rather not talk about? And I'm gonna go off camera for just a moment here. Doctors and work. Whoa, so you got the double whammy here. Wow. Hope everything's all right. Because if you got a doctor's appointment, hopefully I'm just hoping it's a checkup. But we got a fourth person joining us. We may actually get to start a little early tonight, earlier than usual, because already got like four people in here. Yay, four people. Let's see now. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So, as I said, I hope everything's all right for you there, man. With if you got a doctor's appointment, hopefully it's just a check. ATC's in the house. Action. Hello, hello. How are you doing? All right. Action. Toys. Channel. Action. Toys. Channel. Hey, Dave. Hey, everyone. Hey, Dave. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you guys in here. Got four stories tonight. Let's see. And since we got at least some of our regulars in already, looks like I might get started pretty quickly here. Okay. Coming up on the 5 minute mark here, so I may just. Hello, Mr. Marks. All right, let's see. Yeah, we're just a little past 5 minutes. I may give it a minute, a couple more minutes here to see who. So, so Dave, ATC. How'd your day, guys? How'd your day go today, guys? Hope everything's well with you. So yeah, let's see. We got coming up on 6 minutes there. Okay, let's say I just want to give. Let's see, we're at 6 minute mark. We got 4 people in here. Might just give it about another minute or so, and then I'll start getting going. I got like 4 stories tonight to go through, so hopefully everybody will be able to stick around, or hopefully everybody will be able to stick around for that. I got 4 stories tonight, and of course, this day in each history. So I'll get into that a little bit. Yeah, let's see, 6 minutes 40 seconds. So, hmm. All right, so 7 minute mark. Got a nice little crowd here. So here's what's on tap for tonight, guys. I got like 4 stories tonight. Oh, Dave, you have something to say here. I have things I could complain about, but instead I'll say I tried Among Us for the first time. I was the imposter, got caught, immediately tried to blame the player I murdered. Got 5 people in here now. Yay, 5 people. Right on time too, because just about to get going here on the about to get going here on the on the crust of the content here. Um, so I said I got 4 stories for you guys tonight that I'll go through. Let's see. We got some Rooster Teeth news, kind of a follow up to some of the stuff that happened last week. I got actually a couple of Batwoman stories in regards to, I guess, the CW program Batwoman, and a bit of a Batgirl story too. So, with all that being said, my day was good. I slept through the whole thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, at least then you'll be pretty lively for tonight, then, huh there, ATC? So, with the 5 of you in here now, let's go ahead and get started. I gotta just do the screen share here. Let's see now. So, so here we go. So first off, we're gonna take a look at the Rooster Teeth story here. This one actually came up, I guess, last Thursday, but um, let's see. Rooster Teeth announces several new content partners, including YouTuber Grace Randolph. Okay. Amidst the shakeup, so here we go. Amidst the shakeup resulting from the recent wave of sexual misconduct accusations made against several employees, Rooster Teeth. Well, I was only aware that there were only 2 employees that actually got accused of anything, but here we go. Rooster Teeth has announced that several new series and creators will officially join the entertainment network, including popular media YouTuber Grace Randolph. Yeah, that we already read that story. It was in the anyways. Following the merging of Rooster Teeth's gaming and podcast networks under a single banner, The Roost published a blog post in order to give fans a few updates on behalf of our Roost partners. As as we announced during RTX at home, we are launching new Roost partner content onto the site, said Rooster Teeth. Um, you'll be able to catch most of these new series on the Friends of Rooster Teeth section of the website. The new partner content will include the video game podcast Castle Super Beast, Easy Allies, and What's Good Games, the aptly named cult-centric cult podcast, the tabletop RPG animation group, um, Recreo, and Randolph's Beyond the Trailer series. And I guess here's a picture of that particular series there. Let's see. Let's see. Anything there? No. Actually, ATC said something new there. Batgirl and Harley Quinn. Horn. Did I hear? No. No. I said Batgirl. I have a story on Batgirl, but it's not that. We have 6 people in here now. Yay, 6 people. Excuse me for just one quick second. Anyways, getting back to the story here. And this is a quote from, I guess, or from Randolph. I'm joining Friends of Rooster Teeth on the Roost. Randolph announced on her personal Twitter account. So you'll also be able to watch me on their awesome website. Starting October. Oh, well, that's interesting. We're well past October 5th. Starting October, according to her. Okay, and then, anyways. All right, that's a new one. I hadn't heard that one, but anyways. Aside from her work creating and hosting Beyond the Trailer, Randolph has also written for various comic book publishers and previously hosted Marvel's weekly news show, The Watcher, from 2010 to 2011. Her comic book work includes the Tokyo Pop adaptations of Warcraft and Starcraft, Justice League Unlimited, and X-Men Nation X. Randolph recently garnered attention for her claim that Mandalorian star Pedro Pascal left the production halfway through season 2, which sparked a wave of criticism and debate over the accuracy of her information. Last week, Randolph took issue with Netflix's casting of Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence in their upcoming film Don't Look Up because the two actors are white. I guess she seems to be a perfect fit for Rooster Teeth. Let them all huh? Look, if you don't see the issue of two white blonde actors playing the two leads in a movie where they play two modern scientists, meaning you really could cast anybody, then what the he double hockey sticks um, have we been doing the past few months? Asked Randolph at the time. Okay, I don't really understand that completely. Boy, more SJW garbage. Randolph would also engage in the recent backlash towards Chris Pratt, which saw Marvel Cinematic Universe fans denounce and insult the Guardians of the Galaxy actor for his Christian faith and disinterest in publicly engaging in politics. Quite honestly, I think that's a wise move for Chris Pratt. Maybe if more, now granted, I'm sure that he'd have more, say more supporting of the views I particularly take, but it's probably better for him not to say anything at all. Sometimes you know what they say. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But anyways, I can't call my eyes. I can't roll my eyes hard enough over Randolph's comments. Uh, I am not a fan of Grace Randall, Randolph, whatever. Laugh out loud. So why weren't people um, pissed when Paul Reacher ended up the complete opposite of the book? Well, I don't know. I haven't read whoever Paul Reacher is, or you know, I wonder if maybe he's a person, if he's actually white and they changed him to a person of color. That might be it. They were hired because they're huge names. Yeah, they're probably, yeah, they want to sell movies. Anyways, I need to go now. So later. All right, take care. Pickle, thanks for dropping by. Um, cancel Grace. Her emoji at the end of her tweet wasn't the correct color, not diversion. oh, hey, Hinode. Hello. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Yunin Hinam Hinatano. Hinanano. Hiya. Night Pickle. Thanks for dropping in, Hinode. Hope you'll stick around. I hope you'll be out here more throughout the week too. So, anyways, back to the article here. Um, let's see where we're okay. Despite stating that she would not be touching this Chris Pratt debacle, right? You probably shouldn't have. Randolph passive aggressively stated that based on 2 days of trending top 10 in a row, a very aggressive negative slant, she would advise some serious damage control. Why? He didn't do anything wrong. Just because he didn't come out and support Joe Biden, just because he basically decided to stay neutral, he doesn't have anything to apologize for, and I would advise him not to apologize. I will say that his coworkers shouldn't defend him because he did this to himself, and he's the only one who can get out of it, Randolph stated after receiving pushback to her initial statement. So they're taking hits for nothing. Well, I mean, if they like the guy and he's their friend, he's not just their coworker, but he's their friend, of course they're going to stick up for him. Just like a bunch of white knights are going to stick up for you. Randolph further demanded that Pratt speak out and let everyone know where he stands, warning that otherwise the controversy won't go away. Will Grace Randolph joining Rooster Teeth get you to use service? Uh, let's see. No. In fact, I don't think it's. I don't think it. Not only is it, would I say it's a no, I'd say in all caps it's a hell no with a bunch of exclamation marks behind it. Right? Oh yeah, that's kind of the first story there. So yeah, she's definitely SJW. She definitely fits. She apparently definitely fits with Rooster Teeth. I wonder what you call somebody who decides to actually jump on board a sinking ship. Most people are usually trying to get away from sinking ships. This girl, of course, well, never mind. I shouldn't say that. I know there are probably some people here who are blonde, so we don't want to. Let's see. That's terrible advice. Ignoring Twitter works. Well, I did one better, Dave. I did one better last December. I just got off of Twitter altogether. As long as you actually ignore Twitter. Yeah, exactly. As I said, though, I did one better on that. I just got off Twitter altogether. It's a lot easier to ignore it when you're not on it, not like sitting there constantly worrying too much about it. If you're not on it at all, then if you choose to go back once in a while and see what's up, then that then that helps. Of course, a lot of these blue check marks, a good word for them is twit. They are a bunch of twits. Now, for some of you who may not understand that, yeah, I know some people there, twit is a colloquialism for people who use Twitter, but in olden times, it was also used for somebody who was not all that bright. It's also used for, if you called somebody a twit, it usually meant that you were implying that they weren't all that smart. So well, that's why I like to use the word twit. That works perfectly, Mike. Yep. I know I've been at a lot more peace since being off Twitter. Anyways, excuse me for a moment here while I go ahead and yeah. So, anyways, so with that, let's move on to the next story. Then, um, move on from Rooster Teeth to now. This can be the first, even though I think the other story the story on the comic side of it might be comic book page of it might be probably lead, but I'll go with this one just to keep everything within continuity here, or just to keep to where I'm not flipping back and forth here. Okay, so here's now the long ago when the world was still young. Yep, yep, babe. Okay, so on to our next story then here. The CW's Batwoman reveals first look at Javisha Leslie's Batwoman. Javicia's Leslie's Batwoman. The CW revealed their first real look at actress Javicia Leslie as Ryan Wilder in her Batwoman suit. Leslie's Ryan Wilder is described as likable, messy, a little goofy, and unmasked and untamed. She's also nothing like Kate Kane, previously played by Ruby Rose, the woman who wore the Batsuit before her. As for the character's backstory, she was previously a drug runner and now lives in a van with her. Oh my goodness, what they do? Did they take? It almost sounds like they merged two characters there. They merged Holly Robinson, not the actress, Holly Robinson of Catwoman fame, and Pamela Isley. It almost like they merged the two. Okay, not only was she a drug runner, but Variety details that she will even steal milk from an alley cat. Oh man, maybe they should have changed the name of the show to Catwoman and just brought in all of Catwoman's supporting guests. Ah, they go on to add that she could also kill you with her bare hands. Ryan is the most dangerous type of fighter, highly skilled and wildly undisciplined. Yeah, but that can also be that could be a downfall too. Um, because being reckless will usually get you taken out by those with more experience. Not only is she apparently deadly with her hands and is prone to stealing, but she's also an out lesbian, athletic, raw passionate, fallible, and very much not your stereotypical all American. Boy, like they didn't seem to learn their lesson with Ruby Rose, so they just repackaged the idea with another character. Oh my goodness. I wonder how fast this one's gonna tank. I wonder how fast this version is gonna tank. In a preview for the character's upcoming debut in DC Comic Batgirl number 50, it's also revealed that she complains about um, the a homeless. I guess it's supposed to read the homeless shelter, not the a homeless shelter, being turned into a boutique hotel. Of course, Barbara Gordon also details that Wilder took her class on coding and that she used to be a bookworm when she was younger. So I guess here's some, and then I guess they have some panels from this. They have some panels of this. The CW revealed their first look at Leslie writing on Twitter, becoming her own Batwoman. Here's a better look at both the images. And here's the second one. They really have her filling out that suit, don't they? Before I continue on, let me see what you guys have been saying here. Let me go over here and see if you guys have been saying much of anything. Let's see. You guys really went off the. Let's see. Okay, from one dumpster fire to another. No, no kidding, Hinode. No kidding. You're right there. This is the girl living in a van with the potted plant. Yeah, you would think they'd be talking about Poison Ivy, Pamela Isley right there, not Ryan Wilder. Oh, 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 yep. She lives in a van down by the river. You don't want to be that person. 20% more woke. Yeah, just yeah. Oh god, this is so freaking funny. Their show is tanking. So what do? You go more into it. You go more into the stuff that was failing you in the first place. Oh my goodness. They don't learn, do they? Lesbian is the first thing you use to describe a character. There really isn't much of a character. Oh boy. Is there anything she can't do? Uh, I think we're gonna see it, whenever the show premieres and the show tanks because the audience won't watch the woke show. And well, I can tell you probably the one thing she can't do. She can't earn money because if they're just going more all into the whole woke messaging, they're going into the woke messaging there, then you know what's going to probably happen there. They're going to tank. They're going to tank. They're gonna go down faster than the Titanic. So, anyways, let's continue this story here. Leslie's Ryan Wilder will make her live action debut in the second season of Batwoman, following Ruby Rose's exit from the show. Rose played Kate Kane in the shortened first season. The first season of Batwoman started off with strong viewership numbers. First episode had a 0.47 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic and was viewed by 1.86 million people. However, viewership would significantly decline over the season, um, falling to a season low of 634,000 and a rating of 0.17 with episode 17. The season finale, episode 20, would rebound slightly to a 0.21 rating and viewership at 739,000. My theory is the reason they went back up is I think it's the proverbial looky loo syndrome. You know, when you see it, like I don't know if any of you've been involved in this, but if you've ever like seen a like major accident on a freeway, you know how people will start to slow down so they can get a good look at it. It's like you got those looky. I think that's probably why this show's ratings went back up slightly because you got the looky loo syndrome working there. Um, ouch. Life will imitate art. They all will be living in vans with plants. Uh, and they'll blame it on the patriarchy. Yep, they probably will there, Dave. They probably will. Excuse me a moment while you go off camera for a quick sec. So let's continue on with this. We're almost done. According to TV series finale, the show had an average rating of 0.26, an average viewership of 995,000. So they did get like 5,000 under a million viewers. So, what do you make of the new Batwoman outfit? Is it enough to get you to tune into the second? No. If anything, they actually just went more in. They went 20% more in to the very content that caused them to sink in the first place. Like they don't learn. They have brains. Yeah, man. Rubberneckers can't help but look at a car wreck. This is a train wreck. A cataclysmic train wreck, Dave. This thing I think is a cataclysmic train wreck. Anyways, let's go on to the and here's a kind of another connecting story here. I guess this is for the comic book version. So this kind of links into the story that I just read, of course. I'm put them together, but the thing is, this one might have been better suited before the other one. But again, I just didn't want to have it going like back and forth. So, new sneak peek at DC Comics Batgirl reveals new details about the CW's new Batwoman, Ryan Wilder. Um, let's see. Wow, the last line of the article is really telling. Like, is she sexy enough to make you watch? That's an interesting way to put it there. That is kind of an interesting way to put it. Yeah, maybe they're hoping to get maybe they're looking for the white knight demographic, or not even the white knight. I think it'd be more like the cuck demographic, the cuck and simp demographic. That's probably the demographic they're really going for, is the cuck and simp demographic. Anyways, excuse me one more time for a moment, or read this next article. Anyway, so and we read the headline there. So one thing ends, another begins. Indeed, Batgirl's ongoing series is coming to an end after almost 5 years with a giant-sized final issue. And true to the axiom, the finale is closing one door and opening another. In a first look at the climactic issue number 50, which was referred to in the other article, of course, DC reveals they are introducing the CW's creation and new Batwoman Ryan Wilder to the comics, which, of course, is not the first time that CW or even its precursor WB did this. Livewire and Harley Quinn were both, and Renee Montoya were all introduced on the DCAU. Livewire from Superman the animated series, and Harley Quinn and Renee Montoya from the Batman the animated series. Anyways, okay. Usually this kind of thing waits, but they admit they are getting right to it. If you're curious when you might be seeing Wilder in the comics, the answer is pretty much right now, says the description teasing the finale and Wilder's debut. Or is that the. It continues. You can catch a scrappy hero to be's first comic book appearance in Batgirl number 50. And in our exclusive first look at the issue, Wilder is an original character dreamed up by Batwoman showrunner Caroline Dries. Um, I would imagine if her last name was actually pronounced Dries. Caroline Dries. Oh man, that'd be a very interesting name to have there. Ah, held down by the system, she desires to fight back against perceived oppression as Dries has. Oh my God, SJW logic at work here again, folks. Oh my God. Ah, I'm exasperated just talking about this. Anyways, Wilder also lives in a van with a plant just down by the river. Down by the boondocks. Down on the boondocks. Anyways, preferring it to shelters in Gotham. We find this out immediately when she shows up on page 7. She also dislikes that dreary old Gotham in turmoil from the Joker War is being gentle. Oh, God. Yeah. Let's all collectively barf. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh, what I wouldn't give for for the good old days of yeah, they're just really trying to warp the I mean, they might as well just focused on making a new character for crying out loud. Let's see. Held down by the system. My eyes broke during their role. Oh yeah. Amen. Original character is a little generous. She sounds like the girl from the Harley Quinn movie. No, this yeah, I mean this isn't really an original Dave, you know something? I would say you're right. Original character is probably being generous. It's more like okay, the words I would use is forced archetype to push an agenda. Oh, poor Ryan Wilder, poor her. She has to steal. She's mad at the system. Wow, wow, wow. You know, it's kind of funny. Bruce Wayne had a legitimate reason to whine. His parents were murdered. And what did he do? He went out and did something about it. These people are taking a piece of the Batman. Now, I know it's more Batwoman and Batgirl they're messing with, but still, this is just outright. Yeah, you know, it's like they're trying to force and some. They're trying to force an agenda. I mean, at least the saving grace is we could always chalk this, you know, because of how it's even though we know that Final Crisis probably got rid of it once and for all, but we could always toss this stuff as like as part of the multiverse. We call it the Earth SJW Earth. We'd probably just toss this garbage aside as the SJW Earth. Okay, don't know what the well. Okay, I guess that emoji means barf. Barf is right. Yep. Uh, anyways, back to the article here, and I guess we need to go kind of get to the next part here. And Wilder has a connection to Barbara, knowing her from the Gotham Library. Wilder read every book there, and in one other notable detail, she can code, or at least took a class. I guess this is the from the comic. Barbara working for Barbara working for a congresswoman and wanting to fix Gotham any way she can is caught up in the social issues presented in the book more so than Wilder. She joins hands with protesters in inner monologues about homelessness and voter registration. Oh boy, here we go again. And it's funny because I think this is going to lead into the other article I was going to read too. Man, all we have. Okay, I thought it was just two articles. We have three articles that are connected together. You guys are going to see this. I kind of previewed it earlier, but still. Okay, from gentrification to protest and toppling of statues. Sound familiar? Batgirl's last issue is ripping stuff straight out of the headlines. Is it to be edgy and relevant? You decide. You know, now mind you, okay, now let me comment on that for a moment. Comics historically taken have brought real life issues into the comics. I mean, we saw many of you probably remember the whole Speedy drug addict storyline in The Brave and the Bold um, during Hal and Oliver Queen's um, sojourn across America. But and a lot of it does go back to even back to the golden age, okay? But this is really just taking it a step too far. It's uncertain if the Ryan Wilder of comics will suit up as Batwoman or some other vigilante, but that's what she is going to do in Batwoman season 2, premiering in 2021. Wilder actress Javicia Leslie replaces the outgoing Ruby Rose. Although Rose is gone from the show, Kate Kane isn't getting killed off. Kane instead will be written out in a mysterious disappearance angle. Batgirl number 50 from the team of Cecil Castellucci, Emanuela Lupacino, Marguerite Sauvage, Wade Von Grawbadger. Grawbadger. God. Oh, the jokes from that name. And Nikki goes on sale in print and digitally this Tuesday. Oh boy, what do you guys think of that? Let's see. Scrappy young criminal girl thrust into position where she has to put aside her bad habits and rethink her perception of justice, what actually constitutes evil. I've heard this before. She learned to code? Well, at least Wilder has alternatives. Monologuing about voter registration. Jesus in Jesus H. Crisco. She's bleeping Oracle. She should be worried about whether someone will break out of Arkham. She's just Damian. What you think she's just a female version of Damon Wayne there? Damian Wayne there. Um, Dave. Hmm. So we've had, and the next story I'm going to read is going to connect with all this too. I'm pretty sure of it. kind of interesting how I had like three very similar stories that all kind of connect together. Excuse me one moment here, guys. So here's the title. Here's the headline for the next story. Bart in this again, I think is going to. Excuse me one moment. I gotta go off screen here again. Sorry, guys. Man, man, my nose was itching there. Anyways, all right. Let's see what you guys have. Yeah, she's female Damien with a pet plant, which probably has some Pamela Isley integration in there as well. Hmm. I did. Or just one of the other Robins. Wasn't one of the Robins a juvenile delinquent? Um, yeah, I believe that was actually Jason Todd. I believe that was Jason Todd, and then they kind of combined Jason Todd and Tim Drake in the new Batman adventures in the night as part of the DCAU. With Tim Drake's character, they just combined the two, and then turned the whole killing off Jason Todd into making him a Joker. The pet plant is there to bring up the environment and climate change. Most, yeah, you're probably right there, Hinode. You're probably right there. Anyways, let's look at this article. Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, appears to join Gotham's version of Antifa. Oh my God! Here we go. Again, wrecking another classic character. Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, appears to team up with Gotham's version of Antifa in the upcoming giant-sized Batgirl number 50. Wow, they really are pushing this thing, aren't they? Really trying to push this book. They probably need all the help they can get, considering the this is apparently part of the storyline known as Joker War Collateral Damage. Batgirl number 50 is the oversized final issue for the Batgirl series from Cecil Castellucci and Manuela Lupacchino, Marguerite Sauvage, and Aneki. Giant size final issue right there in big bold colors. Joker, you got um I guess that's supposed to be Commissioner Gordon right there. In an 8-page preview of the book released by DC Comics, it begins with Barbara Gordon and her father, Jim Gordon, buying James Gordon Jr. Burying James Gordon Jr. in the wake of the Joker War storyline. And there you have that. In Batgirl number 49, it's revealed that James Gordon Jr. has a split personality, and he's been going around Gotham having red having redheaded women dress up as Batgirl and then killing them. Batgirl eventually tracks him down to a lighthouse where in order to keep his shadow self at bay, he leaps off the top to his death. Oh, good. Hmm. At this point, though, Barbara Gordon's still going by Batgirl. Anyways, um, Jim Gordon arrives at the lighthouse just as his son leaps to his death and as Batgirl attempts to save him. She fails to do so, and Jim Gordon believes Batgirl, not knowing she's Barbara Gordon, killed him and even attempts to arrest her. Following James Gordon's funeral, um, Barbara takes her dad to an old diner where the two have burgers and shakes. During their meal, Jim Gordon advocates for a complete overhaul of Gotham. He tells Babs the city needs a complete overhaul ever since the Joker took over the town. Everywhere is run down. Bad elements like Batgirl need to be lanced. Most police in the streets, more police in the streets to combat the mayhem. Barbara responds, a scorched earth policy isn't going to be helpful. I don't know. I mean, you know, rioters and looters can't riot and loot if they're in jail. Following the statement, Babs begins to completely ignore her dad, losing herself in her own thoughts before she finally slams her hands down on the table and shouts, Dad, shut up! Oh, this is probably playing out in many homes. This scenario is I know I have a friend who had this kind of scenario somewhat play out. Kind of, it's the older a lot of the issues that have been brought up over this whole social justice issue and all that. It's not just about racial diversity or divisiveness. It's dividing even young versus old too. You have a lot of people more in the older generation who are for law and order, and the younger generation going more for this SJW garbage. Now, again, not everybody on each side is for one side or the other. You have intermixing as a group, but overall, the general perspective is older folks are more conservative and younger folks are more liberal. But that's been around for a while. God, God, you're probably right, Node. Of course, Batgirl is for Antifa. They wanted to fund the police for Batgirl. It's called job security. More crime, more for her. Oh boy. Hey Cheney, how you doing, man? Oh 07. Hey Cheney, welcome to the stream. Glad you're here. We've been talking. Apparently, I guess Founding in the Commons decided to really push the last issue of this current Batgirl series. Because I've read of the 4 articles I've read on it tonight, 3 of them have revolved around this issue. The only other article was a Rooster Teeth article. So, anyways, back to it. By the way, she then goes on to state, "I work so hard to do what I do, and when you put down my efforts with hateful misconceptions about Gotham or its citizens, or even Batgirl, it hurts me." Hmm. I wonder what's going on because I was under the impression, according to Batgirl 49, um, the senior Gordon didn't know she was Batgirl. Abs finally gets up and leaves the diner. As she begins walking through Gotham, she joins in with what appear to be Gotham's version of Antifa as they are tearing down statues and appear to have been launching projectiles in a protest. As she begins to participate in these activities, we can read her inner monologue. She thinks to herself, the death of an era is an opportunity to get rid of the old and usher in something new, something better. Progress is not always better. For example, old style values are always better. Traditional values are always better than the garbage we're seeing today. She continues, take the time to re-examine our heroes and maybe find new ones. I don't know if these protests will actually stop the gentrification of these of these neighborhoods, but who's to say what the best way to bring about change? And is there one right way to do it? Saul Alinsky, Saul Alinsky, Saul Alinsky. I became Batgirl on a whim. But once I donned the suit, there was no going back. It was a way it was a way to do some real good. But have I? The next phase shows police breaking up a protest at what appears to be some kind of government building. As a police line is advancing on the protesters and possibly rioters, Barbara Gordon is talking to a couple of citizens who say they are trying to rebuild their homes, but explain their homes have been condemned following the clown wars. Gordon responds to them by telling them that who she is and giving her her card as part of Congresswoman Alejo's office. Her internal monologue reads, I chose to work for Congresswoman Alejo because I believe she could implement the changes um, Alejo, that couldn't be made by being a bat or a cop. She's basically spitting on everything her father and her previous mentor, Bruce Wayne, had fought for. And that's nice. Thank you, thank you SJWs for for just totally taking a dump on the DCU. Thank you for that. Really appreciate that. Sadly, I'm not even remotely surprised by this. Evening Cheney, Big Bros, or Big Boss. Uh, for real, Barbara's being a yeah, and I personally don't like as somebody who grew up watching such classic cartoons as like the new Batman Adventures, and even watching the syndicated reruns of the granted campy version of the live action Batman series. I like that portrayal of her. You know, I like the and even even the '90s portrayal of her in the DCAU was pretty cool. Not this garbage. Let's see. Congresswoman Alejo. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Alejo, AOC, maybe kind of compares. Albeit we know that AOC has actually been brought into the comics herself too, but um, because I thought Gotham is supposed to be like another part of. Actually, from what I've read on the map of the DCAU, Gotham's actually technically in New Jersey, but um, I don't know. Maybe Alejo is supposed to be another character of or another variation of AOC. What do you guys think of that? Oh, Hinoda heads. Bring back the Killing Joke. Yeah. Uh, yeah, that was an interesting storyline as well. She continued. I've been listening to what Gotham needs my whole adult life. I've even put my body on the line for her. These people put it all on the line too, just in a smaller way. A tiny action can make a big difference. I need to ask myself, how can I be of real service to the people of Gotham in a way that intersects my two lives? you know, it is kind of sad to see this whole. Now that I'm seeing more of this SJ, it saddens me and it angers me. Heroes are supposed to be on the side of law and order. Because ultimately, law and order is what keeps society together. This is promoting anarchy. This is promoting insurrection. Okay. Now, Grant, I know they're trying to make the point that art is imitating life or what have you. You know, but they shouldn't be promoting this as a good thing. Man, what I wouldn't give for the CCA to be brought back. She could be a stand-in for AOC. Yeah, I always thought Gotham was supposed to be a stand-in for New York. The general impression, Dave, is that actually that has always been the general impression. Okay, um, Gotham is supposed to be DC's version of New York, but but actually, there's this one site. I don't know the exact name of it, but you could probably just look it up, Google it or whatever. But there's an actual site called the Atlas of the DC universe, and it actually shows you a map of what the of what the basically what the world of the DCU is supposed to actually look like. Might want to check that out. You know, if you're interested in like learning the geography of the DCU to help you better visualize everything. Um, but yes, Gotham from Gotham from the beginning has always been kind of interpreted as being like DC's version of New York City. Um, just as Metropolis would at one point be considered kind of a stand-in Cleveland, even though when Siegel and Schuster originally wrote Superman, a lot of the very early stories that are classified as being on Earth 1A are based in Cleveland when he's still working for the Daily Star and for George Taylor back in the Golden Age. So um, before they'd move Superman comics to to Metropolis. So let's see now. So moving on in here, as we continue with the article here. Um, the preview ends with Barbara Gordon encountering Ryan Wilder living in her van with her plant. Gordon tells Wilder, "Voting is a way to change things, Ryan. Let me know if you want help with housing." She then thinks to herself how to remember to talk to Alejo about the homelessness and crisis and voter registration. Oh, there's another typo right there. As Barbara, as Barbara, that's one thing and one person I can change for the better. So, hmm. and of course, and of course, Ryan Wilder seems to be a woman of color too. Just to take note. Um, Batgirl number 50 is expected to be released on October 27th. So tomorrow, basically tomorrow. What do you make of Batgirl joining up with Gotham's version of Antifa? Um, I think bad idea. And SJW again. I think we can all agree here. We've just seen a prime example of how these SJWs are just taking a total dump on the DCU we all grew up on. All SJWs know all SJWs know is how to destroy well-established characters, since ones they create, well, look at look at Snowflake and Safe Space as as that as they say, get woke, go broke. Hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunately a very sad thing though. I got $1 on SJWs hating this depiction of Barbara. Um, they'll say she has white savior yeah, a community there that has a tendency to eat their own. Yeah, so that's all I can really say about all that. Those four stories were just unbelievable. Let's see. So what do you guys? I know we've been talking about it quite a bit, particularly Hinode, Dave, and I have been talking about this, but I know we've had as many as 7 people in here. And I know Cheney's had some comments on it too. What do you guys think of all this? Does this really make you want to go out and read these comics at this point? I mean, doesn't make me. I mean, I want to, you know, I prefer going back and reading some of the older comics like Golden Age and Silver Age because those are a lot better. Those are a lot better. They didn't. Granted, the Golden Age comics did put some political stuff in there. They they did, push agendas, but it wasn't like this stuff that actually made you proud to be an American. It wasn't stuff that would cause such divisiveness. I am whelmed. Yeah, from the Teen Titans line right there from Robin. You know, actually no, it's not Teen Titans. I'm sorry, it's Young Justice. Robin and the original Robin who became Nightwing. Dick Grayson had the whole whelmed line. So yeah, this you're not overwhelmed, you're not underwhelmed, you're just whelmed, right? Oh boy. All right. So is there anything you guys want to ask me or anything you guys want to talk about other than other than what we just went through with the articles? Give me a moment. I go off camera. I mean, aside from, of course, these live streams I'm doing too, I do have other content that I do. For those of you who are into anime, if you like watching the dubs, I've done some profiles of some dub VAs. Not anybody kick Vic per se, but those who yeah, let's like the apathy is all encompassing with modern comics. Yeah, I mean, you know what it almost I don't know. This should be an interesting challenge too. Going back and at least reading the synopses. If not, you obviously wouldn't go back and read all every single comic dating back to the Golden Age because that would take forever. You couldn't do it in a lifetime. But just reading enough of the synopses, get a general idea of what, let's say, up to, I don't know, Infinite Crisis or Final, just Infinite Crisis. That's the one that ended in 2000. And then instead of following the rest of it to Final Crisis, just try to think about how you would redo DCU after Infinite Crisis. That would be an interesting challenge if somebody was to do that. Of course, they couldn't. Nobody could really actually publish something like that because, of course, DC's got the licenses for that. I had something on the screen there. Anyways, uh, they want you to care so much, but not about the characters. Instead, they want you to care about the on the nose social commentary. I have enough of that in the real world. I want comics where insane bad guys get punched in the face and imprisoned. Same here, my friend. I agree with you on that. I mean, character development is, well, actually, no, what we're talking about is character development. Not now, again, you know, they've done social commentary before, but it's never been this bad. I mean, look at the whole Speedy heroin addict storyline, right? That's a good example. And you know, you guys, should start coming by more often because, like the last couple of Fridays, I've been looking back at some of the old, some of the Golden Age comics and how things were back then. So, um, hope to see you guys around more. Um, so when we talking about the Batgirl Harley Quinn parody, laugh out loud. I don't even know anything about that, so I couldn't contribute much to that conversation. There is no escapism. Everything is about right think, and if you deviate, the banhammer will fall upon you. Yep, that's basically what it's come down to. You know, it's basically the whole Antifa, Black Lives Matter, SJW movement it's an insurrectionist movement. They're basically trying to destroy America and traditional values all in one fell swoop. You know, they're trying to basically just, instead of trying to raise everybody up by having them work towards their goals. They want to bring everybody down. So, anyways, not that I really wanted to get, not that I try to get too much into politics, but obviously when you look at social media and you look at any form of media and how it's used to get your messages across, um, that can be quite that can be quite a thing there. Movies that get social commentary right is like the original Dawn of the Dead or the original Night of the Living Dead. The commentary should never be the first or the second thing you notice. Actually, another movie that I think did a pretty good job with its social commentary, Rocky 3. I don't know if you guys remember. Let's see, was it Rocky 3 or Rocky 4? Trying to remember. The one I'm talking about where he fight. Actually, it might have been Rocky 4. And I'm thinking where he fought Drago, aka Dolph Lundgren, and they were talking about the whole U.S. versus Russia thing. Let me double check that because now I'm a big Rocky fan. I should have remembered this right in the first place, but because I love that movie. I love those movies, particularly the one with the. I think it is Rocky 4. But yeah, yeah, it was Rocky 4 is what I was thinking of. Had a cool soundtrack and the social commentary on it was not all that bad. The whole idea is that he goes to Russia. Yeah, that's Rocky 4. That where he goes to Russia. The one that's the one I'm talking about. That's a good movie. You know, that was some good social commentary there. But not this SJW garbage. And thank you guys for the likes and shares. We have 7 people watching us tonight, so that's good. I'm glad to see everybody here. Um, see, wow, we're coming up on an hour and a half already. Um, all right, so are you guys ready for some history? Are you guys ready for this day in each history? I think I'm going to start wanting it because we're coming up on an hour and a half mark. I'll make some last announcements after that because I know some of you probably want to get over to Crow Stream as well. And if you can do a mic raid, that would be appreciated as well. So are you guys ready for this day in each history? Woody's here. Hey, Woody. What would don't know much about history? Yeah. What would Woody do back in '62? Driving classic cars, drinking in the bars, putting the guys to shame, playing the game. What would Woody do? What would Woody do? Anyways, Rocky Goes to would make a hilarious series. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so we're gonna start winding this down a bit. Yeah, educate us. Okay, so anyways, today being Monday, October 26th. Let me just take a quick peek at some of this stuff here. Let's see. 1945, just to remind myself of which ways to go here. Okay, 45, 45, and 15. Okay. So in today's bit, um, we have two bits of it's so nice. We got to do it twice because two sets of information that are from the same year. One set from one year and one set from another. Ayo, I'm in Indonesia this week. Kind of hot. This durian stuff, man. It stinks, stinky around here. I miss you, Adrian. Yeah. And then of course he has that scene where he goes, Drago! Drago! Anyways, so let's get to this day in Nietzsche history. What happened on this date in history? First off, we're going to go back 75 years ago today on this date in Nietzsche history. So, on this date back in 1945, DC Comics would set out on the newsstands the fifth issue of Buzzy. Buzzy was more of a humor type comic that would last for 77 issues all the way from I think 1944 to 1955. So on this date in 1945, 75 years ago today, um, the fifth issue Buzzy Buzzy would be released on the newsstands. Um, oh, Woody Woody. So moving on now, 1945 is so nice that we have to hit it twice. And on this date, 75 years ago, the Walt Disney produced short Cured Duck would premiere in theaters on this date in 1945. Cured Duck, starring the voices of Clarence Nash who was the first voice of Donald, and Gloria Blondell as Daisy, saw for the second time Donald tried to cure himself of his short temper. And from what we've read or seen, he would um, he would have more success this time around. So on this date, 75 years ago today, Cured Duck would premiere in movie theaters. The Walt Disney short Cured Duck would premiere in movie theaters, which would see Donald trying to cure himself of his short temper. Now we move ahead in time to 2015. On this date in 2015, first off, on this date 5 years ago today, from the Valley View Casino Center in San Diego, California, the WWE would host Raw one night after its Hell in a Cell event, saw the return of Alberto Del Rio. Among the, excuse me, that's my family in the background. Uh, anyways, on this date 5 years ago today, Monday Night Raw was hosted from um, Monday Night Raw was hosted from the Valley View Casino Center in San Diego, California. The night following Hell in a Cell, where Alberto Del Rio made his debut. Alberto Del Rio, among a few others, would be participating in preliminary matches throughout the night for set up for the main event for a fatal four-way match to determine the new number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. In the main event of the night, that saw Roman Reigns defeat Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, and Alberto Del Rio in the match to become the number one contender. Also on the card that night saw Rusev, Sheamus, and King Barrett defeat Ryback and the Dudley Boys in a six-man tag match, as well as Team Bella, all three members defeating the team of PCB in a six-man match. That happened 5 years ago today, and once again, 2005 was just so nice that we're gonna hit it twice. Also on this date in 2015, in the world of anime, saw the premiere of the OVA episode of The Disappearance of Nagado Yuki-chan from the Haruhi Suzumiya anime. So on this date, the disappearance of the OVA episode for The Disappearance of Nagado Yuki-chan would make its debut on this date or would premiere on this date in 2015, 5 years ago today. So with all that being said, um, I'm glad you all joined me tonight. I know we lost a few people. People left already. But just to remind everybody, this Friday we'll have the Knuckleheads on for an interview spend some time, reminiscing a little bit about Halloween. So I hope you all will join me then on Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. Oh, howdy, Woody. So with that, I shall bid you all adieu, and I will hopefully see all of you tomorrow night for the next episode of the Mikestand Tuesday Talks, where I'll find some more neat stories to talk about. Thank you all again for being here, and I'll see you later. Bye.